Apple. What the fuck's an apple ever done to you?
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Timeless Podcast, and this bumper edition of the Timeless Podcast. That's right,
What?
we're doing 3 episodes of the show
Oh,
Doctor
oh,
Who.
oh, bumper. Right.
Yes, as we hurtle towards 150 episodes. I don't know what episode this is though, because I'm bad at numbers. Um, this is episode 141, and we're within the last 10. So by the time the new series is out, we'll probably be at 150, probably for the finale or something. I don't know. We'll
It's gonna
find
fall
out, of
it's
course.
gonna fall sometime in that period, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm joined with John, Oshan, and Beef as always.
Older.
2 weeks, lads. How are we? Are we good? What have we been up to? Some highlights.
Well,
Paris,
it was Easter. That was nice.
What was
Easter,
The Easter bunny came and left us some chocolate and things.
up the bunny?
up the
I've
bunny.
about the Easter bunny. This first year I didn't have any Easter eggs this year at all.
Really?
What?
Well, they're a gift item, aren't they? Like you don't buy them for yourself. That's just like
Well, you can. I know at
Yeah,
least one
but
person who did.
They're a
I,
gift. They're a gift item. Yeah,
I, but
Well,
it's a luxury item, and
I'm
I'm sorry,
disappointed.
but my budget doesn't
I'm,
stretch to luxury.
I'm
no, but
disappointed.
Correct.
Alex, I'm disappointed. I shall have a word with your mother.
Yeah, no, I didn't get any Easter eggs this year. Although if I did for next year, Malteser is king. That's the correct answer. Or Smize, but they sometimes put the Smize in the egg, like unpacked. And I'm not a
What,
fan of
sorry?
that. Smarties.
Oh, that's
Or
better. Yeah, because I was wondering what the fuck you were saying.
All right, so what's your
smart.
approach? What's your approach to an Easter egg then, Alex?
Uh,
Does it have to be carb, or are you just gonna munch
I
into that chocolate?
I normally need somebody to smash it for me. Um, because I
He
can't.
likes his Easter eggs like he likes his women.
Yeah, boy.
Yes, but
You-
what about your Easter eggs?
Smashed up and in broken pieces.
I just like being a cuck, mate, to be honest, when it comes to women and Easter eggs. But anyway, Paris, Oshan.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah.
Well, you say it was good. You did text me a really worrying thing, didn't you, about to be till hours later when you were
Oh,
like,
fucking hell, no. Right. Never again, man.
yeah,
It
you went on a
just,
ride
it,
and you were like, my heart's really pounding, like I'm really
yeah,
worried. And I texted you
yeah,
going, are you okay? You got 5 hours later, like, yeah, I'm fine.
yeah.
Part of me was sat there like, has he gone into like
It,
hospital in Paris?
it's almost like he was in another country and maybe not getting full reception on his phone.
I just think he was busy at Disneyland. But when someone texted you, going, my heart's
Yes, I forgot you went there. Yeah, yeah, I've done nothing interesting like that. Fucking hell.
I've got a question to ask you, Beef, because I know
Yeah,
we're
go
both
for it.
fans. Have you? I have in the past couple of weeks been watching season 2 of Invincible, which obviously wrapped up today as we've been filming. I don't imagine you've been able to see the finale as of yet.
Not yet, no.
I
I'm with you there.
have, but let's talk about the first 7. It's a good show, and it continues to be great.
Yes, it does. It continues to be very good. Very clever nods to the demands of why it's taken so long for series 2 to appear
I love that.
in
I
last
love
week's
that.
episode. It was a very clever, yeah, dig at the fans, but in the nicest possible way.
Yeah, and I just think as well, like we get this kind of thing where people go, "Oh, it's a different superhero show." Invincible literally is. There's nothing really like it currently on the market. It's just really good. It's I mean, Amazon have sort of cornered that adult superhero vibe, really, haven't they? That's kind of
It's nice to have an animated program. I mean, I have gone back and started watching some of the old X-Men cartoons before I dip myself fully into the new X-Men 97 stuff that's on Disney at the moment, which a lot of people are raving about. So,
Yeah, that's going to be good about
yeah, the little bit I saw seemed okay, but it's been so long since I've seen the originals. I'm going back and revisiting them in between other bits and stuff.
there's so much content, and obviously, John, WrestleMania's been and gone apparently by the time this is out. So let's hope it was good. We're filming it beforehand. If you want, the review will be out later today. So if you're a wrestling fan and tend to be listening to us,
Up the rock.
up the rock.
Yeah. I was Alex. I was absolutely stunned. I know on our preview we talked about the possibility of Stone Cold Steve Austin or John Cena interviewing in Sunday night's main event, and negating the threat that The Rock brings. I really was not expecting Kevin Hart to show up and just trip him up outside the ring.
Yeah, absolutely. Mental
And
stuff at WrestleMania.
as for that Damian Priest cash in, where he is now a women's tag team champion.
You wouldn't imagine it.
Who'd have seen it coming?
Not us, that's for sure. But of course, this episode, there's so many things to discuss. Almost to the point where now I can't just put the episode title in the title of the podcast because they dropped the fucking trailer and episode titles.
Two.
They dropped two episode. They dropped two trailers and all 8 episode titles. God.
So
and writers and directors.
All of it.
Yes, but we get onto that when we're discussing the episode titles, don't we?
Yeah. I mean,
So what are you most excited for? I know you weren't hugely enamored with the trailer.
No. Do you know
So
what?
which episode are you most excited for? I mean,
Oh.
I'm assuming that our keen listeners are aware of the episode title. Shall we tell them?
I have a list right in front of me.
Let's see how many I can remember, and if I can remember them in order.
Let's see whether you can.
We have Space Babies.
We do indeed.
We have The Devil's Cord.
Yeah.
We have Boom.
Yeah.
We have 76 yards, is it? Or 73 yards?
73.
73 yards, okay. We have Dot and Bubble.
Yep.
We have Rogue, which I'm particularly looking forward to. That looks great to me. We have The Legend of Ruby Sunday. And we have The Empire of Death.
Indeed we do.
Which is our first of Death in New Who.
Which is mental.
Oh.
There's so many of death. Well, there's not so many, but there's a few of deaths in Classic Who.
There's a lot. There's Face. There's Robot.
Seeds. There's Seeds.
There's Seeds.
There's a good few.
Yeah, there are a few. I mean, there might just be those 3 actually. But
yeah, there's more than new series.
There's Curse of Fatal.
Yeah, exactly. There's a few deaths. So you asked me a question, which I was the most excited for. All of them and none of them. I don't really know how to distinguish any of them, to be honest. And the trailer did nothing for me in terms of hype.
Well, the fact they're giving you little idents, which are quite cool.
None of them did anything for me. I like the way that
the idents did anything for you.
No, none of them. I did look at.
The fact they kind of established what the tone of each episode might be.
I know what they're about, but none of them were like, "Oh, that looks in particularly cool," and that one doesn't. They would kind of.
So knowing what they're about hasn't pricked your interest for any more than any others.
I'm going to be honest, John. This is the least excited I've been about Doctor Who since I became a fan. I don't know why. The trailer did nothing for me.
Did the anniversary special type you?
More than this. I just don't know. I just feel nothing, which is really, really gutting. Everyone's like, "Oh, we're like a month away."
Yeah, that's a shame. I'm looking at it. I'm looking forward to 73 yards, even though I couldn't remember the specific title. That looks like it's going to be a bit of a Doctor Light. It's going to be a bit spooky. I'm looking forward to Boom because your boy Moff is back.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to Rogue because obviously we've got some new writers on Rogue. That looks like it's going to be the one that's set in sort of the Regency period. And there's a bit of a rumour going that there might be a returning character in there, although not a returning actor.
Again, yeah.
You looked a bit confused. Are you aware of that rumour?
And is it the whole thing of Jonathan Groff being a certain time agent? Is that the one?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And I mean, if I'm really hoping that's the case because if that is the case, I am here for the Barrowman reaction video.
Yeah, that'd be fair. Yeah, I mean, I'll go Dot and Bubble just because I like the title. It's kind of like it sounds quite cute, even though it probably won't be.
It looks like it's going to be a bit of a sort of social media thing, you know.
Also,
obviously, people are getting excited / annoyed that Russell is writing 6 episodes. Count yourself lucky, punks, because if I was the showrunner, I'd be writing all fucking 8.
Yeah, again, I'm not going to get into Doctor Who fans and the fact they'll moan about anything. I believe Boo said a couple weeks ago, Storm in a Teacup.
Abbey Road doesn't look like a... Who the fuck cares? Nobody
cares. Nobody cares. Nobody gives a shit.
Yeah, but that's even more ridiculous because you don't even know the context in which that clip's come from. There may well be an in-universe context to see where that's coming from, and that really, to me, that is just a lazy, cheap shot that people were just trying to throw out there, because they don't like the fact that Doctor Who's now got money and popular.
Yeah, which is a strange reason to hate something, but
Oh yeah,
No,
absolutely.
I mean, you've been here long enough, Oshan, to know that Doctor Who fans hate nothing more than Doctor Who being popular.
yeah, I know.
Yeah. I'm also interested in the Legend of Every Sunday because that was the only one of the idents that made me go, this looks rather interesting. The rest
Well,
of
there
them were
was
just
one that put your interest more than others.
I mean, I guess, but I'm not that I need to watch that. I need
Charlatan.
to find out. It was more just because again, I'm not excited. Like this series is not going to come out in 6 months. Like that's kind of like my hype levels for it. Like, I don't care if it's next month, next week, tomorrow. Like I don't know why. Maybe it's like Christmas. You know,
I've
when you
got
get a
an
bit
idea.
older. You know, when you like it's Christmas and you like in your like 18 to like 20 years and you kind of begin to not like it as much.
Alex,
It's like that.
that's a bit of a weird analogy because I know you, and I know for a fact that you start getting excited for Christmas in mid-October.
That is true. Yeah, I'll whack up Christmas playlist anytime. But I was more just using it for the general public. Yeah, this series, I don't know whether it's because I don't know what it is. I was going to say because other people are really hyped, but I'm not that self-indulgent. That would piss me off. I don't know what it is. I'm like I'm cool with it. I'm happy it's here, but I'm not. If someone like I don't mind if I have to wait till like 3 days after an episode airs to watch it, sort of thing.
So
That's
hopefully on a more excited note, Beef, are you excited?
I'm looking forward to seeing it and seeing what happens. The trailer sort of thing, it's weird because I just don't. Yeah, I'm not feeling the trailers as much as I have done in previous years, and I don't know whether it's just. I don't know. Maybe it's just an age thing or something like that. Yeah, I don't think there's anything that I found like massively memorable about these trailers. There's nothing that's sort of real sort of that sort of took my breath away. It's sort of like, okay, it's a lot of jumpy cuts and everything like that, and it is what it is. It's nice to have the episode titles. Be interesting to just see what it is. But to be honest with you, I'm happy to just wait and see what the show's like because this is going to be, for want of a better description, it's going to be like a reboot or a relaunch of the series anyway. So I'm sort of, where this is happening, I'm happy to take a sort of less is more aspect to it.
They've done very well at hyping it up whilst not giving a great deal away.
Yeah, it's sort of, yeah, that's it. If I try and think seriously about the trailers, or the most recent trailer, I can't really remember much about. Apart from obviously the one shot of all the babies in the prams, because that just looked to be honest with you, a bit ridiculous.
Yeah,
I mean, I'll tell you what that reminded me of, and I mean, you're old enough to remember this, Beef, our other two friends aren't. It reminded me of the music video for Delamitri's Roll to Me, which came out.
Oh, good Lord. Right, yeah.
Where they were all, like, the band were all driving around in little buggies.
Yeah.
They were all being pushed around in little pushchairs.
Yeah. If anything, the trailer's quite forgettable for me.
I like the thing with the butterfly. I like the little jump scare with the big lizardy dinosaur.
That was cool.
I really liked Shooty's speech about battle.
Yeah.
See that lost me. I thought the delivery of that was poor.
I don't think you're necessarily getting the best of Shooty out of the trailer. It's because it's either it looks like fourth wall breaks, and it's a bit of I don't have a problem with boundless enthusiasm, but I'd rather sort of use it certainly with Shooty being what he's going to do. I'd like to have a less is more type thing, and everything just be what you get on the screen because
For me, that whole sorry, Josh.
Oh no, I was going to say I thought I really did enjoy the two trailers. I thought they were looking after the second one came out, I went to look at the first one again, and even though I really liked the one bit that I really liked from the first trailer was the Ruby when the changes, and it it syncs really well with the shots. And I think that the second trailer really impressed me more because I thought looking back at it, the first trailer is really clunky with the way it's edited and everything. But I don't know. I think for me, the episode that I'm excited for the most, I'm excited for all of them to be fair, but I think for me, either Dot and Bubble and the 73-yard one, only because 73 yards is the one that Russell has said is the best thing. He's said this is the best thing he's ever written, quoted by him. So I'm excited to see what the fuck he means by that.
That's a man I've watched years and years.
So yeah.
I have to agree with Beef about shooting. I just don't think it shows him off very well. He says that whole to dust line about the enthusiasm of a deflated balloon. I don't trust he's going to burn a battlefield to dust at all. And I thought Shooty Gatwa was fantastic in the performances we've seen him before. But I can imagine any other doctor saying that better currently. I can imagine Eccleston.
Any.
Any.
Even
any.
A certain
any.
God, offend the part of the fan base off, Shan. Who are you going to name and shame there?
Jodie Whittaker.
No, because I reckon Jodie Whittaker under Rusty Davis would be fantastic. So,
I turn you to dust.
But no, I don't know. I need to also check the fact that it's going to be different. But I just feel like we don't know much. When it's the Doctor's first season, you get a trailer with them and they're front and center. Whereas in this, it's Ruby, and that's really cool. But I'm more interested in Shooty Gatwa. So I want to see more of him, and I just feel like it's I
can tell we're going back to what Russell does well in my eyes. I can understand it's not for everyone, but the whole companion viewing, they're the front line, and obviously the Doctor's the front line. But
that is what he gives you.
Bloody tremendous.
That is what he gives you. I mean, it works. It worked phenomenally well with Billy.
Yeah.
It worked really well with Catherine.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure that with 8 episodes we've got enough time to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, I'm not here to, Beef said, I'm not here to to stop anyone being enthusiastic or whatever. I'm happy if you are. I know our good friend Reese, he's absolutely buzzing for it. He's like, this is the first time I've been in years. Whereas, I'm kind of gutted that I'm just not on the hype train. I'm just sort of
And Jenkins was quite excited for a while because he fought 73 yards for 73 years.
Yeah.
But, actually, the one thing I did want to sort of highlight, I think, with regards to the titles and both of the trailers we've had. I don't know if anyone else has said this. There's no idea of any sort of returning monsters, is there?
True. Yeah.
So
there's nothing of what you take to be your most commonly associated with the show. There's nothing Dalek, or there's no Cyberman in there.
Yeah, it's the risk that Series 11 took, wasn't it? And that kind of.
I'm not saying they're not in there. That is.
Doesn't mean they're not being held back.
Yeah.
Empire of Death.
It's
as a title kind of throws up that possibility, I guess.
I mean, maybe that's something for marketing later. I find quite surprising when you're going into a new series and what they're doing with it being like a relaunch for a newer, fresher audience, or trying to bring it to new eyes as well. You're not seeing that, which it's a bit surprising.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be very surprised if we don't get Daleks at some point.
Yeah,
because
so am I.
After the TARDIS, they are the most recognizable IP that the show has got.
Yeah. So that's something that has surprised me so far.
Surprising if they don't turn up at some point.
And obviously, a lot of people gauge their, to a certain degree, gauge their Doctor in how they face off against that character.
Yeah. I'm sure we'll get them. not heavily against a series without returning villains. Well, these shows, like Arsenal said, we only did that 3 seasons ago. So, like, I don't really think we need to do a whole new refresh again. Like we did with Series 11. I think you can kind of like back and date it, but like,
Well,
I'd like a couple villains in there because that to me is Doctor Who. Like new villains in the entire series. As a fan, don't really want that. I
Or
know it's
yeah,
what
but
might
the thing is,
happen?
three seasons is one way of looking at it, but what 3 seasons completely ignores is the fact it's actually 5.5 years.
that's not a lot of Doctor Who though.
It's not a lot of Doctor Who, but in terms of time and
Mm.
in terms of particularly something that's coming to a new audience, don't
I
forget that supposedly a lot of the audience dropped off during the last era. So a lot of these people are not going to have either very fresh memories of it or didn't even watch it.
If you think about it, the Star Beast was the first time in the show that had a new villain since. Well, no, obviously not new with me, but you know what I mean. The new villain since.
See that I can see
Is it
comic book,
Nightmare?
see the comic book fans furiously.
I know. I'm sorry. You know what I meant. Okay, Wild Blue Yonder then was the first episode that the show had a new villain since Haunting of Villa thing.
Yeah,
that was the first
I guess.
Yeah.
I guess if you're being pragmatic, you could say that like Flux was, apart from maybe Sontarans and Angels, was mostly Swarm and Azure. But I mean, I'll allow you
Nobody
to.
remembers them.
Exactly.
Even that, you
Victor,
got the Daleks and Cybermen and stuff. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't. If it's done well, I really wouldn't mind a series with new villains. But at the same time, you never know. Maybe they are in this, or
I do agree
maybe
with
what I think
Beef,
what Russell
though.
did well in his run was that he would do a little. Oh, these guys are related to this monster, or like these are a different kind, or maybe there is a
Yeah.
those slug things. People might think that it's something from the classic era. Do you know what I mean?
I ain't got a bloody clue. I get what you're saying though, that it's a new era, and actually you might want to throw some big IPs in there.
Yeah.
I mean, go for it.
K9.
Doctor Who is always. I'm going to say this now. I'm going to sound like an absolute old twat, but Doctor Who's always better when the Daleks in it. It's just a fact. You're always more hyped when you see a Dalek, especially with a new Doctor. You're always more hyped when you see that first interaction with a new Doctor and a Dalek. Just saying now, there's not much better.
Counterpoint. Season 17.
I will say, blink, and you. This series will be over very, very quickly.
Yep.
City of Death, no Daleks. Destiny of the Daleks.
Yeah, but that's not the first time Tom Baker took on the Daleks, is it?
It's not, but at the same time, you can't go. It's more exciting when there's a Dalek in it.
Yes,
when
I can.
actually there are some pretty shit Dalek stories out.
Yeah, but the Daleks are always good in those shit Dalek stories. They're
It depends
Daleks.
what they do with them. As in, I bring them back, fine, but if do something new with them or do something. Do you know what I mean?
The Manhattan two-parter.
Love it. It's great. Don't even. It's better than Journey's End. Those two episodes are better than Journey's End as a single story. I'm not even taking the piss. I would. Stolen Earth.
Yeah, hang on. Okay, you might love it. At the same time, I know your views on the Magician's Apprentice and which is familiar.
Swank.
Yeah, exactly. So
Swank.
you can't tell me that you love every Dalek story and are excited for every single Dalek story.
No, because the Daleks are good in those. It's just that Ross. And that snake thing. I do. We've already reviewed those. And when people are asking, what am I going to do with podcasts now that they're dropping at midnight? I have no clue. I don't know what I'm going to do for the first two. I'm going to do a podcast with episodes 1 and 2. Am I going to split it and do a podcast for episode 1 and then a podcast for episode 2? No idea.
Here's my question.
I do believe when we discussed this a little while ago, and yours truly suggested 2 episodes that he would pick to be on, he said the first one and the Beatles one, which would be the first 2.
Yeah.
Here's my question, because I'm still very confused about this. I've not really thought about it. Does this mean, are we getting 7 weeks of the show then?
Yes.
Or are we getting 8?
Yes.
7. And then you can, if you want to count 8, Christmas.
No, but like, are they literally broadcasting those 2 episodes, or is it like,
yes.
oh, if you want this
they
one
are broadcasting
early,
those 2 episodes on the Saturday
back to back? Fucking hell!
Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
You've got those 2 episodes, and then you've got something that I'm not going to mention by name because it still supports the Zionist state of Israel.
So yeah, no idea. So to the couple of people that I've asked what we're doing, I haven't decided yet. I don't really know.
You don't need to decide yet, do you?
No, we're still weeks away. Right. So obviously this week we're reviewing a trilogy, which Oshan was thrilled about. And by the way, Oshan, when you were like, "No, we can review them separately," I would have been so annoyed if we did. Oh yeah, we'll just do Extremis and we go because they all link into each other really. They're all cliffhangers. So they are a trilogy. Absolute brats.
To be fair, this follows straight on from a cliffhanger from Oxygen.
Yeah, this is basically a four-parter if you think about it. Yeah.
Still blind.
Quickly saying that with you saying that all link. What's weird is something I didn't even notice. Episode 8, Lie of the Land, starts straight away without previously. So if you didn't fucking watch the show before that, no clue what was going on.
Yeah, because it is, but that's essentially because the monks have literally come in and taken over history. So
Yeah,
anything that happened previously, that's
doesn't fucking
a
matter.
nice little trick to say it doesn't matter.
Doesn't exist. And everything that happened in Extremis didn't happen either. So
Yeah,
it's like every episode deletes itself.
Doesn't matter.
Every episode sort of deletes itself.
And even at the end, it's like, oh well, the monks erased themselves from everything.
Right.
So sorry,
Right.
I've skipped.
No, it's fine. We can get into it. But first, we've got to do triple threat, Oshan. And this week there are 3 questions. I'm going to do all 3 of them now. But 7 points are up for grabs. So if you buzz in on the multiple choice, I'm going to let you try and get as many as you can. If you can't get all the points, I'll pass it off to the rest of the people in the call. So there's 3 questions. They all link, all in order. So 1 for Extremis, 1 for Pyramid at the End of the World, and 1 for Lie of the Land. My first question is, can you name the 2 games that are mentioned in Extremis? There are 2 video games that are mentioned in Extremis. Anyone will have a go.
Oh, I can name one.
You can you can get a point.
Super Mario.
Correct. 1 point. Oshan's got one. Can you get the other one though? Take a punt.
Grand Theft Auto.
Beef has got a point and 1-1. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were pointing that out to Oshan to try and name the other one because he buzzed.
Yeah,
in.
but
I did think that,
Beef
but
got
it's
it
fine. It's
right.
all good.
So,
I wouldn't have known it.
Oshan has got his first ever
Alex
point.
needed to be clearer on what the rules were there.
Oshan got a point.
So once somebody buzzes, they're only buzzing for the one answer.
Yeah, well, no, but they can get as many as they like. But if they're struggling, you can snatch it.
Right. Okay. But you weren't clear that it was being handed over. This is the point I'm making.
Well, it's 1 apiece. This next question is worth 4 points.
What?
4 points. In the Pyramid at the End of the World, what 4 things does Nardal say humans rely on?
Wank.
bars.
Beef.
Air,
Yeah.
food, water, beer.
Yep, all 4 points. Beef has stolen all 4.
Fucking
And-
hell, John. We're behind now, aren't we?
Your final question, which is only worth a point. And I think all of you are going to buzz in quite quickly here, so get ready. It's quite easy. I didn't know if the other ones are quite difficult. So I went, how many words is Bill's paper valued at? How many words you got to do for a paper? He goes, yeah, go on, Oshan. Go on, Oshan.
3,000.
Correct. Oshan gets 2 points. Beef gets 5. John goes 0-0. But you know what? I think that result in the order of the table is good for us because he's going to come back like a vengeance. So I think.
Yeah, I feel like
Only if you're fucking clear about the rules.
I think that does put Beef by quite some margin
It
in
does.
the lead. I think
It
he's on
does.
8.5 now. I think that puts John still on 2.5 and Oshan on 2. So
That's all right. I'll take that.
wait,
That's
plus
all I
2
want.
points, brother. You got from 0
That's
to
2
2.
points. That's all right.
That's decent. Now I'm not going to do any synopsis for this week because there's no point. I'll just say these 3 episodes basically monks invade and there's a whole lot of Moffat bullshittery going on and it's all quite confusing. So I'm not going to try and explain it, nor am I going to be mean and try and get John to do it like he used to, because that would take about a decade. If you've not seen it by now, go check them out. It was released like 2017, I think. I think it was 2017. God,
Yeah.
that was a long time ago.
Bloody hell.
So the trilogy as a whole, we'll go first. What are we thinking, boys? Who wants to go first on this one? It wants to rip the band-aid off. No one?
Fuck, this was fucking hell, it was hard work.
Yeah.
There's a reason. I rate Capaldi. I do one. I rate Capaldi very, very highly. to the point that he can take something that isn't great and lift it by proxy of his performance and how he does it. And I would say, to be honest with you, this one is lifted by the cast. I do find it weak, and I found it hard going. The wrap up resolution I find really tough because the power of love I always find is like quite a tough one at the end, and I'm struggling to sometimes. What is the message? Is it free will? Is it is it anti-war? It's trying to be so many things.
Yep.
And to be honest with you, the first episode is quite dark when you think about it, like tea time viewing, and a lot of it is self-deletion. Sorry, based on YouTube algorithms. So yeah, it's a real hodgepodge of stuff. There's a reason I probably don't go back and watch this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow up. I'm gonna agree with you. I think when I went into this, I was like, "Is it that bad?" And I went, "Yeah, it is pretty difficult to watch." Mainly because I went with 3 different writers, and that never works
That's
for
a
a trilogy.
problem. Yeah.
Because every episode feels different and not in a good way. Not where it goes, "Oh, this is a different genre." It's like no, they just feel disconnected. And like the monks are one thing in one episode, and then by the end of it, they're like all being want to take over the world. It's like that's not what they were 2 episodes ago. This is really bizarre. Then there's a weird thing of like every episode gets deleted before the next. That's really stupid. That doesn't work. Like there's nothing worse than watching an episode of Doctor Who and then going, "Oh, it was all a simulation." Oh, great. Cheers. It's just dull. Even though I like Extremis a lot as an episode, when you get to the ending and you're like, I was like thinking of myself and watching it for the first 30 minutes. I was like, this is dark, but it's good. And I got to the end, I went, oh, that's why I remember I didn't like it. Yeah. Then Pyramid at the End of the World is it's fun, but it's a mess. They just sit in a room and go, what could be destroying the world?
Yeah.
And it's quite lucky
Yeah.
that of all the things it could be, they get it right. And then, and then the Doctor gets his sight back because Bill's like, fuck it. The Doctor's more important than everyone on the Earth. And then in By the Land, who knows what's going on in that? The Doctor isn't working for the monks, but is for 20 minutes just to be a bit of drama for no reason.
Oh, fuck that.
Then The Power of Love, which I agree with Beef, is really bad, mainly because the Doctor has to explain it. If The Power of Love has to be explained, then it's a bad execution of The Power of Love, which in essence is already a bad metric anyway. When it's like, oh, her love for her mother is so stronger than the monks' power. What? Sorry, what? And then they're like, oh no, this is a sacrifice play, but it's not for reasons. So it just didn't need to happen. It didn't happen at the end of it. Nothing changes. We've wasted 3 episodes where none of it happens.
I think the part of the thing that I struggle to understand is the monks themselves.
Yes.
And I think that's where I found this hard going because I was trying to work out, right, okay, are they aliens who use technology, or are they magical beings like we're sort of going to be, akin to what we're going to be getting coming up? Because it's how they restore the Doctor's sight. They create simulations based around human history, but you have the Doctor who sort of exists out of time. So how do they frame him in their simulation? So it's sort of I struggle to understand what they get out of it, what they gain from it, because they have the human race in servitude, but what do they get out of it?
Yep.
So that's where I sort of struggle with it. The one thing I do like about this 3-part is the jokes through it, and that's something that I've always liked about Moffat's writing and Capaldi is seriously one of the funniest Doctors, and people never ever rate him on that because he underplays and does throwaway line comedy exceedingly well.
Yeah. I just think Moffat, the way he writes, especially with Capaldi, is like the Doctor talks probably the most like a human ever, whilst also sounding alien. Like the way he speaks and the way he does comedy works in the situations. It's never like, oh, this is really serious, and the Doctor's going to crack a joke. It's always like really snarky, sarcastic bullshit in times where somebody would be really snarky and sarcastic. Like I love it when he's like in the lab and he's like, oh, after this you're gonna like fall in love with me. So what are you doing after this? But no, seriously, what are you doing? Like that sort of shit's great. Um, yeah, I don't know. I enjoyed watching it. Like it was entertaining, but it just falls apart whenever you think about what you've watched. You kind of just go, but I don't know. Oshan, John, what are your thoughts?
John, do you want to go? Or
No, you go, mate.
bit of good, bit of shit. Monk Trilogy. No, I think that it's better than what I remembered. I will admit. I remember really hating these. I actually remember liking Pyramid at the End of the World the most out of all three of them. It's probably my least favorite now. I think I don't know. It's just that there's a lot of stuff that I like and a lot of stuff that is like Extremis. It's like they had this plot and then Moffat went halfway through and went, oh shit, I need to put Missy in this somehow. And it's like, and I like the stuff of Missy, I really do. But I feel it doesn't, like he throws in lines in there that's like, oh, he's meant to remind him of stuff with Missy, and then it cuts back to that, and it's so clunky the fact that it keeps going.
Sorry to butt in, but considering the episode of simulation as well, how does that work?
Yes, yeah. It is like the lines that they said. It's like, oh, I remember I said that, and it's like, what? Like, but I do enjoy that stuff with Missy is quite fun, and then the Michelle Gomez and
anytime Michelle Gomez is on screen, it's great.
Yeah.
Best master, by the way.
I think that it's a good, and I don't know. I understand what you mean. It is very like ugh, but I thought that it was kind of like, oh, okay, that's clever. He's sending an email, but you are right thinking about it. Then, like, how does the Doctor actually play into that, and how do they really know about?
It's this one, and obviously I'm the biggest. Well, yeah, one of the biggest Moffat fans out there. But like, it's kind of like it's a bit overly smart. Like he's like, any game character can do one thing: email. It's like, no, what are you talking about?
I did like the stuff with the when they walked into the room and it was like someone out of Sherlock. It was like, oh fuck, these all the people die.
The portal room.
Yeah, the portal. No, not the portal room. When they walked into the room and everything, the bombs.
What? Where everyone's getting drunk. Yeah.
Yes.
Drunk,
yeah. I was like, fuck. I saw that as Sherlock, and I was like, oh god. But like, I don't know. I also thought the simulation stuff was quite interesting, and the portal stuff for how Nardole just kind of disappeared. I thought that was quite good. And then yeah. With the second part, I think it's just you are right. It's just kind of them going, well, we should actually make world peace and all that. But like, the stuff I actually do like is the stuff in the lab. Everything with the lab I really enjoy, and I like the reveal. I really do like the reveal of Capaldi finally telling Bill about his site. I think it's quite a good reveal.
Again, I have to ask her, and this is not, maybe I'm being stupid. How the fuck does she not gauge it like ages?
Oh yeah, no, yeah, I get what you mean. I do get what you mean.
Like when the only bit where it's like, okay, you should catch on by now is when he's literally walking to the pyramid and Nardole's next to her, telling him everything.
Yeah.
Like a running ass commentary, and she's not going, Nardole, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's the yeah. And with The Lie of the Land, I think I hate the stuff with Capaldi tricking Bill. I really didn't like that at all. Because it was like, what the fuck are you doing? It was like, and yeah, I can get past the regeneration. That was just silly, but it was kind of like viewing figure. Okay, let's get people watching this.
It was an next time.
Capaldi's fucking regenerating. I don't mind the love stuff. I actually don't mind it. I didn't think it was that, but I understand what you mean. Like, if they got to explain it, it's probably not a great sign. But I don't know. I did like the whole stuff with Bill speaking to her mum throughout the entire episode.
That's great. That shit's good.
I also really like Nardole in these episodes because he's grown on me a lot.
I just realised how much I like Matt Lucas in Doctor Who. Whenever when he was serious, I forget how good he is. But there's lines like when he's like, "I'm not just sexy," or like when he's like, And he's like, and sure, what was it? I think it's an extremist. Bill goes, "Have you always been a badass?" He's like, "Yep."
And then he screams straight away. I see the
Yeah.
movie. But no, yeah, and I just love that final bit with Missy in the Lie of the Land, and the part where the doctor explains to Bill. No, it was that line where Bill's like, "Why do you have to put up with us?" or something like that.
Yeah.
He's like, "Well, in 7 billion people, there's someone like you." I think that's amazing. Yeah, that's my opinion of the show. Goodbye.
Thank you for TED Talk.
That's all right.
Yeah. Right, John, are you with us or are you more positive?
I love it when Doctor Who credits the audience with some intelligence and actually goes, you know what? We're not going to explain everything. We're going to let you work a bit of stuff out for yourself. We're going to give you something that's a bit higher concept than we normally do. And that's what it does here. I mean, it's not perfect. It's absolutely not perfect. But I'll always give the show credit when it actually looks at a family audience and goes, yeah, actually, you can follow this. Yeah, the finale's not great. It's probably the weakest part of it. It is a bit of a cop out at the end. I agree that Bill for 2 episodes is basically thick as shit because it's not just that one scene with the pyramid. For 2 episodes, Nardo is literally audio describing everything to the doctor, and at no point does she go, "Hang on, mate, is this a Chibnall script?" You know, say yeah, she's clearly not got her brain in for a couple of episodes there because it like anybody would work out and go, why is he doing that? Why is he literally doing that? And why is the doctor still walking around in bloody shades? You know, that's a bit of a plot hole that they could have maybe worked around a little bit. But yeah, generally speaking, I'm a fan of this one. I'm a fan of this one. I don't mind the Doctor tricking Bill too much because I think that the episode does quite well at explaining that actually he's got to do that because he's got to work out, you know, he needs to be sure that she's not under the power of the monks, that she's not being influenced by them. It's never nice when the Doctor has to trick the companion, but I think it's more necessary here than it has been in some other examples where it's happened. And I think I just like the scale of it. I just like the
Yes.
scale of it for you know, for a show where you can go literally anywhere in the universe. They spend a lot of time in fucking London and fake London, i.e. Cardiff.
Whee.
And it's just, yeah, take it global. Actually go somewhere and go, yeah, this pyramid's arrived at this really strategic point, and so the Russians are involved, and the Americans are involved, and the Chinese are involved, and you know, let's go and reference the fact the Doctor's the president of Earth because that's something that we did a long time ago and haven't actually referenced for a little while. And you know, I just yeah, I just like the scale of it. I like the tone of it, sort of where it's pitched on a sort of sophistication level. I think the leads are generally really good. It's probably Matt Lucas's best performances in the show. Capaldi's always great. Pearl Mackie's always great. You know, particularly in the third episode, actually, she's fantastic. Michelle Gomez is eminently watchable, although she's not the best master. That's Roger Delgado by a country mile. And yeah, it's just generally great stuff. Not by no means perfect, but never dull, and always entertaining.
All right. My first thing, I'll be positive. So the cast, I got really no notes. I think they're all firing. I love them. I think Capaldi's great. I think, like you say, John, I think that Matt Lucas is fantastic, and I think yeah, obviously Bill's fantastic as well. So you know, they're all three of them. Yeah, I almost had like a little glitch there, and then I just.
I mean, there's some flashes of like stone cold stuff, like where they go through like how would you execute a Time Lord? It has to be carried out by another Time Lord, and then they say, look me up under the Doctor,
Yeah,
and oh yeah, we have
probably.
300 ways to kill you. No, as in cause of death, and and his wristwatch goes absolutely guaranteed to a complete
Yeah.
harm. That's stone cold. I like
That
that.
that shit's great. And the bit it's annoying because the
And
best
there,
thing to me.
there are some really, really good flashes to it. To be honest with you, I like Extremis most out of the three.
Agreed.
I'd agree with that. Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think it does have depreciating returns. I think Extremis is the best part. I think Pyramid comes second, and Lie of the Land doesn't quite work as a finale.
And I like how the monks look.
Mm.
Yeah, great design.
Look-wise, they're effective, and I mean, there is the comedy bit where it's monks on a plane. When they go upon the pyramid and they all get swapped out with the monks.
That's like,
And I
yeah.
like-
That
And I like that whole clause of Axos type thing, where actually they're not using violence. They're almost tempting the Earth into being invaded. You know, it's like a friendly invasion.
Well, yeah,
Yes.
this is where I sort of struggle, because is it like a free will, or is it like a sort of, I suppose, before we got too far along that, but people saying fake news. Do you know what I mean?
It's like a weird
For
seduction.
me, it has to be given up with free will and purity, and they kind of establish that you can't give it up through fear. You can't give it up through bargaining. You have to actually want to give up the planet to the monks for like a pure reason that's no advantage to yourself, which is why it works with Bill wanting to save the Doctor's life, because that's not to her advantage at all. It's purely through her love for him.
But that's also where the episode kind of falls flat, because like, what the hell do they gain out of it?
I wonder whether there's also like a slight commentary on like
they're literally running the fucking planet.
Yeah, but what do they gain from doing that? It's just effort.
I wonder whether there's a commentary on sort of like a slight commentary in there somewhere to do with like fake news type thing.
He says it, doesn't he?
Because there is reference to the Trump, I think, in it.
There's a lot about propaganda in there. There's a lot about propaganda in there, and how actually you can rewrite history, and people will follow you if you rewrite history.
Yeah,
you know, there's a very
in a way that's like subtly but not far removed from what they know.
You know, this would have been made late 2016, when Trump was just running for and being elected as president. So there's a very strong allegory there, indeed.
Where this episode also falls back the lie of the land, though, is it establishes that some people remember. Bill remembering makes sense. How the other one remembers, they never explain how people have memory flashes. They never do it. It's just some people can, I guess. And that's also a bit weird.
But hang on, that could be any number of reasons, couldn't it? Some people are more strong-willed than others.
But explain it, because that's the issue with the takeover. Why?
Okay. Does it need explaining if we've already established that this is essentially a fake news allegory?
I mean, they do say something about plague and epidemic if they were to use that in the second episode, because there's all the people who've got.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, if we've already established that this is the fake news allegory, does it need explaining when we live in a world where some people follow that shit like sheep, and some people sit there and go, hang on a minute, that doesn't seem right? It's already established. It's just about questioning minds, and it's about just following that metaphor for fake news one step further.
But it's not legitimately fake news, is it? It's a magic spell. So that's where it gets it's not like they've just changed Twitter and changed headlines.
But hang on, what is at its most essential sense, what is a spell? A spell is an incantation through words. It's all about throwing up an illusion through words, which is exactly what propaganda or lies, or to use the modern vernacular, fake news is.
Yeah, it doesn't work for me. Doesn't work for me. I just can't get behind it when they're like, oh, these people need to go to camps because they can remember the past. How? How? Like
Because they're naturally more questioning.
no, but
In exactly the same way that not everybody swallows Trump's bullshit, in exactly the same way as not everybody swallows Johnson's bullshit. You know, there's a very lazy and obvious answer that I can give you is that some people are just fucking cleverer.
but that implies that the info's there to be grabbed. But I thought they rewrote history, so that's where I don't gauge.
Rewriting history is about putting a different interpretation on things, isn't it?
But I thought they like literally rewrote history in the minds of the
No,
people.
they made people think that they did.
No, but that's in the minds of the people. So like, unless they just left a newspaper around
Because there was that
before
whole
the
thing with
monks.
the doctor, wasn't it?
It's not about changing the fact. Anybody that's alive can only remember things up to 100 years ago.
Yeah.
Anything before, and anything before that, the monks can literally rewrite and create.
It's true.
And so that's how you've got these massive fucking statues everywhere. They're sending out propaganda at every point.
Yeah, that's what's
I mean,
gutting.
there's also the suggestion, is there not, that the statues are some kind of psychic broadcast link?
Yeah, that's what's gutting for me is that I love Toby Whithouse. I think he's one of the best Doctor Who writers, but this just falls flat for me.
Did he? Wait, oh yeah, he did, didn't he?
And it's a shame. Again, I have to agree. I have to agree with people that have said that the whole interrogating Bill thing is dumb. It's just there to create some tension for 5 minutes.
It goes on for too long.
And I was thinking when like Nardole knew about it the entire time, bit weird. Like it's all like, oh yeah, we all knew. Have some cake. Way, it's all been a ruse. It's like, all right, cool. That was great. Didn't like that. Basically, The Light of the Land, which is the only episode that kind of sticks to that's what happened. It's bad. And when that's your final one, it makes it really rough.
I think I generally think if this would have worked as like, I don't know, if I feel like the concept of this trilogy would have worked really good as a finale.
Maybe
if you'd made it better. Do you know what I mean? Like it would have been like that last episode reminded me a lot of Sound of Drums.
Yeah.
And that whole stuff.
I mean, I'd say this is better than Sound of Drums.
No.
Really?
No. First of all, Utopia is part of that, and that's clear of all 6 of the 5.
I didn't say it was better than Utopia. I said it was better than Sound of Drums.
Yeah, you're not a big fan of Sound of Drums.
This story is nothing like Utopia. What it is like is the Sound of Drums.
I mean, they're both not great. It's a bit like, which bag of shit do you want to pick up today?
Sound of Drums are brilliant.
But like, yeah, it just leaves me cold. This I still can't get over the fact that every episode sort of gets deleted, and the next one it's like, oh, well we don't exist in that reality anymore, and no, we don't exist in that reality anymore. It's like, all right, cool. Extremis is by far the best one, so let's talk about that because that's actually positive. First of all, the direction, fantastic. Episode looks great, dark, scary, secluded, fantastic. Also, it's really funny. Like Beef was saying, it's really funny.
That stuff with Penny is really good.
Yeah.
And by the token of people, by people who travel in the TARDIS are now de facto companions, it means the Pope is now a canon, a companion.
We love it.
And another Pope is a companion in another sense.
Yeah.
But like as well, there's no funny. Well, there is a funny vision of Doctor Who, but it's got to be up there legitimately. Of when Bill's on a date, the Pope just rocks on him.
Yeah, it's so good.
The Pope needs the shitter. He just defiled my toilet.
Despite the fact it's known there's one on the TARDIS, so the Doctor did that on fucking purpose. And that's what makes the whole Doctor even funnier.
Maybe the Doctor didn't want the Pope using his shitter. Maybe he knows that the Pope is a messy.
He's a big shitter.
He's a messy boy. You know, for exactly that. I mean, there's at least one friend of the show where if he was travelling in the TARDIS, the Doctor would be like, "You are not using my ship."
He has a very heavy carb-based diet with all the pasta he probably eats.
But no,
And
we
you know,
all
there's practicalities as well about lifting that robe up and stuff. It's like, you know, and he's a man of he's a man of a certain age. You know, like the
It's a brave fellow who can walk around wear white like that.
you know, he's a man of a certain age. He's got to lift all those robes up. There is a strong possibility that the Pope is going to be shitting on your floor.
this is true, yeah. I mean, are we all in agreement Extremis is the best one? Are we all like
Yeah,
unanimous?
without
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it because it is a high concept. It is there is a real dark to it because there's so many people offering themselves. They touch on big science as well with CERN and everything like that.
I thought for a
So,
second I want
yeah.
to say big dick energy.
No, it's big hadron collider energy. Yeah.
I mean, you know, there's a lot of interesting themes in it. It's just it has the again. It's going to be it has the Star Wars sequel trilogy vibes where they kind of link, but also they go and do their own thing, and it's really clunky to watch. Like Oshan and I think like other people said, like I thought Extremis was my least favorite. I've left watching these three and going, that is by far the one that is the most interesting and it's the least faffy of the bunch. And that one didn't even fucking happen. That one happened via email. Which, by the way, how long is that video file? That's not a thing. You can't send those big emails. It'll go, sorry, you have to use WeTransfer.
Yeah, you can with Sonic sunglasses. Sonic technology, mate.
Yeah, I suppose. You know,
He's not fucking doing that on eye shades or something, is he?
Yeah. The Doctor just has a WeTransfer Plus account.
And respect to drunk scientists.
Yeah.
I mean, also that drunk scientist as well is played by Tony
By the way,
Gardner, who's fantastic.
you're a cunt. Because I remembered every one of those fucking numbers that they read out in that fucking.
Yeah, but I don't do numbers anymore. I've told you this. I go into
except for last week. Except for last week when you literally fucking did.
Exactly. I did earlier today as well. You just won't know, John. You know, do you know what I mean? I'm a loose cannon. You can't predict what question I'm going to come up with. At the end of the day, mate, you've got to be prepared for every eventuality.
Well, it was a date, wasn't it?
Yeah. But I mean, you know, Tony Gardner's in this as the drug scientist, and he's always good in anything he puts up in. So that's superb. I do kind of find it funny that the world ends because a drunk scientist can't hack the work. That's hilarious. I know it's not meant to be funny, but
we've all been there.
If the world was going to go down, probably how it would go down. You know, so I mean, fair play. Pyramid End of the World is really boring. That's its issue. And it's built a lot on luck of the Doctor going, well, it's not going to be what we think it is. It's not a war zone. It must be bacteria. All right.
I do kind of like the stuff with the scientists though.
And that side of it's great, right? But the whole first 30 minutes where like, oh, we have no. By the way that the three nations agree to peace is hilarious. They're just like, do you know what? I won't fight you. And I won't fight you. And then they shake hands and like, oh, is that not fixed it? It's like, can you imagine? That's all they do is go, do you know what?
Yeah, I'm down.
I'm down. That's literally it. And they're like shocked that these three people to go, do you know what, mate? Put the guns down. Can't be fuck it. It just doesn't work. I like the Doctor in this a lot, apart from when he's being blind and not wanting to tell Bill. Like, that's the only element where he's like, I can't tell Bill that I'm blind. Why? The fuck does that change? Also, why?
I like the Doctor a lot, apart from when he's being blind.
No, and because he's not telling Bill. When he's blind and he's not around Bill, it's fine. You're listening to half of the sentence, John, and you're picking out. It's just the entire plot where he just won't tell Bill that he's blind for reasons, but wants to bring her along for no reason. It's like, if you don't want her there, mate, just don't bring her along for the party. Do you know what I mean? Because you kind of don't really fucking want her there. He's like, do you know what? I'm blind right now. I don't want her to know. She's going to be unsafe. let's not have her in it. And yet he brings her in the fucking TARDIS anyway. It's like, well, Pelmaki was on the series sheet. We've got to use it. So I guess the Doctor just brings her because why the fuck not?
He needs her to lie and tell them.
Yeah. 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 It's just weird. Yeah, it's weird.
Hang
It's
on.
What?
Does he tell Bill? No, wait. Extremis still no.
No, it doesn't. It's all a simulation.
So no, but so the
They're all
Doctor then
inside the
tells
Shoney's.
Bill. Doctor then tells Bill about what happened.
The Shoney's, I love that.
They're all inside the Shoney's.
I wish it was inside a fucking Shoney's. That fucking barbecue sauce, man. The Szechuan sauce. That's what they needed, more of that. But yeah. No, so yeah, he sees it via himself emailing it to his sunglasses in the real world, which doesn't work either. Basically,
And then he tells Bill.
I think Moff went, I really want to do a simulation of the Doctor Who, but I want to make it linked to the real world. He's like, what if Super Mario wants to get tired of dying? Just goes, it's like, what? First of all, the Doctor saying Super Mario is one of the funniest sentences ever in like a proper like series. Like, what if Super Mario? It's like, what? What are you talking about, mate? But like
Hope Mario.
That's an extension
you've
to
got,
Mario.
exactly. You've got two major Italian players.
Exactly. One of them's got to go. There can't be two. So, I think Pope's a new addition to Smash Bros. But yeah, I don't know. Is there anything else any people want to talk about this? Or have we kind of like covered it?
Is there anything?
Which is weird because it's 3 parts, but we've sort of it's a nothing burger.
It's 3 parts, but they are all very, very different.
Yeah, and not in a good way.
And it's like there's flashes of really good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a thing.
And that's it. There is a sort of lack of cohesion to it. Because I think you have the simulation and okay, this is how they would creep in and insert themselves into your world. Okay, so they're trying to distract you from what's going on.
Yep.
But there's this very big bit that's made with the Doctor, which is like, everything is the last time you'll do this. You're constantly dying. This is the last time you'll step through a door. You're already starting your journey towards death. The doomsday clock is ticking down, and the world is going to end because some guy couldn't handle day drinking and be a functioning alcoholic.
Another thing I don't like, and this is just like how I like clocks to count down. They never figure out like how much time they've got. It's all just like random, and like that kind of takes away from like the fear factor because it's just 3 minutes, but they never establish the gap in time of how long the clock's counting down, so they can just sit and Google for about 20 minutes of an episode because they're like.
So that's it. That's it. It's jumping around from place to place, and it does lack cohesion. And I like the Missy stuff, and it just seems like that's put in there as a means to an end.
Whenever she's in it, it's great, but she's sort of just there for no reason.
And there's 6 months worth of time where the monks are in power, where people die and get killed for their beliefs and and fighting against it, and they're sort of like forgotten about. But the Doctor sort of is taking 6 months to put together his plan while people die and everything like that. So that's also a little bit out of character. So and that's the thing. It does, I feel, struggle to maintain a constant theme. And I agree with John. I like it when the show does high concept and it shows things on a bigger scale, but it just doesn't stitch together. And whether that's a byproduct of it being like too many people involved in it, from a creative aspect, perhaps that's it. Maybe it would have been better to have a separate episode covering the Missy stuff, and 2 episodes of a more cohesive story with the monks and Extremis. Because it just that's it. I struggle to get it all to make sense.
Yeah, the Missy stuff, they kind of try and get her in there by going, "Oh, Missy, you defeated the monks once before." And she goes, "Why, yes, I did. How? Where? What?" The master doesn't stay on a planet for longer than 2 minutes unless they want to like take it over. So why the hell are they there defeating monks for? Like, it's just like,
Yeah.
we really want to put Michelle Gomez in. We've got her for this schedule of time. How can
That's
we
a good finish for the big finish. Ka-ching!
Yeah. It's like, okay. Like you say, Beef, I love the stuff with Missy when at the end when she's like crying, she's like, I'm beginning to reflect. And she's like, I don't like this feeling. And the doctor goes, well, it's a good thing, he killed
No,
people.
I like the bit where she said it's sort of, yeah, I encountered them before.
Also-
I handled it in a completely different way. It was a small girl and I just pushed her into a volcano. Bosh.
Also, yeah, also I missed it, or it's not this episode, but I swear this was the episode where she dabs.
No, that's
No.
that's the finale.
Because I remember that just being in the trailer, being like,
No,
the
she arrives
bastard.
at that planet and she just fucking goes on and then just dabs.
Do you know what? Because it's Missy, it works. If it was any other
Yeah.
master, it'd be like.
If they're any other fucking character.
But no, I love the fact that she tells the volcano story, and then Bill goes, "What's me?" And she goes, "Oh, sorry about that, but like, you still got to go.
Awkward. Yeah.
You still got to go." The one thing as well, and this is not an issue with this trilogy; it's just the entire thing. Missy being in the box is one of the dumbest kind of like, "Ooh, who's inside that things?" Because we all know it was Missy before the series even aired. We were like, probably Michelle Gomez. She's got a recurring role in this season, and it was. So from that point of view, it's bad. But every time Missy's on screen, I love it. It's the best when this episode at its best. So I don't really care in the context of these 3 episodes. Also, the way the monks just piss off at the end is really funny. They kind of just get hounded by a horde of people and get their little pet pyramid and fly away. It's just like,
Yeah, but this is our second review in a row where the villain's just fucked off at the end and gone, now sod it.
bye, fly pyramid. But no,
I was returning
yeah,
the master.
yeah, exactly. I'm gonna put this out there, and it might please Beef. I'd rather watch the King's Demons than this.
Like I said, it'd be pimping.
But it was pimping, and it's also a third of the length. Yeah, are we good to go to final scores on the doors?
I mean, I think we need to recognise Capaldi's excellent blind acting.
He actually is that. That's not English. That's not.
I was
sarcasm,
wondering what,
it's,
yeah, I was wondering what you
yeah.
thought of that.
That's just fantastic.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. He's completely completely on point. He absolutely knows what he's doing.
Fair play.
Yeah, I mean, I think as well because obviously we reviewed Crimson Horror a while back, and we discussed the Ada stuff and the whole touch in the face thing, which obviously I don't really do, and that sort of thing. So I think this is a juxtaposition to that. It's far improved from from outside of that. Obviously, you have much more knowledge and stuff, but
the fact that I mean, if you go back and watch, particularly the first episode, very often he's slightly off center. Very often and it's down to the camera work as well, but very often he's slightly off center.
And non-reactive to things as well.
It's just unnerving, and it works. And sitting there as somebody with a severe vision impairment, watching it, I'm like, he's clearly thought about this, done some work on it, and knows what he's doing.
yeah. One thing I also want to say as well is the too many cooks in the kitchen thing. Like this is written by 3 different writers, directed by 2 different directors, and it shows. Like the first 2 episodes kind of look similar, but then Wayne Yip comes in for the third one, and stuff against Wayne Yip, he's a good director, but it just looks so different and like not in a good way. It looks like another set of episodes, and it's just
Yeah, I do like the feel of the last episode, but I understand what you mean. Isn't like it is completely different.
yeah. So are we now good for scores on the doors? Let's go in reverse order to where we started. So we'll start with your score, John.
Are we scoring each part or just in?
Just go for a
yeah.
whole thing, I think, mate. It's one story. Just I think.
Yeah, generally solid. I think it's let down by the last part. I'm gonna go 7.5.
All right, Osh.
Um, yeah, I think as a whole, it has its ups, has its downs. Missy's in there, even though Michelle Gomez is good. And I'd rather have seen that story of like the execution in it of someone else.
In a different episode. Because
Yeah,
it just
I
kind of
don't
does
know
get
why.
slotted in there.
Yeah. But no, there is stuff that I really like, some bits of dialogue that I enjoy and the humor. I'll give it a 7, 6.5, 7.
Beef.
I'm going 4.5.
Wow.
Like I say, the visuals are good, and even like I would say, the music is good in this as well. The principal characters are good and lift what is disjointed and weak material higher than it, better than what it would be. But it's so disjointed. Yeah, I don't know. Is it science? Is it magic? Things are just resolved by proxy of, well, that's not a thing anymore, without understanding it. Like, the monks have restored the doctor's sight when he can't restore it himself, and then it's just not a thing anymore. I think the doctor does come across as overly needlessly cruel with regards to the Bill thing, to the point where she actually has to shoot him. I think that's needlessly excessive. And it is just, I think, as a story, a huge mess. There's bits that are good, and it's way too long. There should have been an episode to deal with some of the clippy bits, and done within something else of a different story, or maybe just a more condensed character piece with regards to the Missy development and character thing. But this is a story, it starts off and just squanders it.
Yeah, actually, before I get into my score, I was thinking as the series. Obviously, I think we're all big Bill fans here. This takes up a lot of her time on the TARDIS, and that's really gutting because she only gets obviously this takes up a quarter of her time, I suppose. If you
But at the same time, I think that it shows a lot of her. I think that it's The Lie of the Land is a really good piece for her.
I just rather she was in better stories than she's
Yeah.
great in them, but I just rather she was in better stories. I'm gonna give us a 5. With the the preface that I'd rather watch King Stevens. Even though I gave King Stevens a lower score, it was pimping. And this wasn't pimping. There was no pimp convention to be seen. I don't think we could swing it that way. I agree with Beef probably mostly. I just think it's inconsistent. It's a bit weird. It doesn't really flow together. There's some great bits, mainly anytime Michelle Gomez on screen. But like you said, Austin, it doesn't even make sense as to how that links in the story because we're watching a simulation. So how are those memories popping up? Is that popping up in the actual Doctor's head or in the simulation Doctor's head, which therefore would imply that the if it is the simulation Doctor's head, that the real Doctor couldn't see it, and then by that point you're going around in circles in your own head and going.
He's reviewing the emails through the.
Yeah, exactly. The email came with cutscenes, so you can. Lie of the Land is an interesting thought experiment, but for me the monks kind of just get sidelined and don't really do anything until there's just one in the center and it's like got a headset on because it's been playing too much Fortnite or whatever. Fucking no. And they're like, got to touch your head. Cool. And unfortunately, the really nice message at the end with Bill's mum, who is a great little character within this, even though she's not even there, is just used, and she pops up in front of a green screen over the top of the triangle with her hand out, and it's like, what? Other the Doctor has to explain it. So yeah, 5 for me. It's entertaining because Capaldi's great, and also shout out to Matt Lucas, absolute star. But what did you guys think? That's more important. I'll go first. I forgot to tweet it out of my main account.
And I would like to say kudos to anyone who actually watched all 3 episodes and sent something in.
But yeah, I will start with the James H at FitGeek_UK. He put will a choice of selection of 4-letter words would be sufficient? So those some words come to mind. Not many of them are positive, but think of a nice 4-letter words, and maybe that's what James H is thinking. Could be any of them, but
Good.
Good. It could be good.
You can't please all the people all the time.
You can. Next up for you, Jono.
Okay, well, Mel's has got in touch at Alonzi Swift. As a counterpoint, I am in love with this trilogy, face with heart-shaped eyes. Why can't you marry episodes? Which leads me, lads, to ask the question: if you could marry an episode of Doctor Who, which one would you marry? I'd marry Rose.
I'd stay single.
Clever.
No, you're not allowed to. You need to marry an episode of Doctor
Can
Who.
I
The Eaters of Light.
Cool. All right.
Stay unhappy.
I can't say that.
What are you
Am I
gonna
allowed
say?
to? Am I allowed to marry an episode for a specific reason, or do I have to like? I think
Yeah.
what's the? All right, fine.
I'd
Fuck
be
it.
interested to know what the reason is.
I'll go 11th hour because Amy in the police costume. Fuck it. Okay.
There you go. See,
Do with that what you will. Fuck
I mean,
you.
I said marry an hour, not
Or
fuck it.
Jeff and his
I
porn.
said marry an episode, not fuck an episode. But
The keys of Marinus.
Excellent.
Any reason? Never seen it.
It's bossing.
Oh, okay. And Osh.
Actually, fear her. I changed my answer to
That's
fear
fine.
her.
You can't change it now. You can't change it. You've said it. Moving swiftly on to Paul Quinn.
Rosa.
I'm getting the word.
Heart attack.
Rosa. I'm gone for Rosa.
So Oshan would marry segregated buses in Alabama in the 1950s. There you go, people.
This next is from Paul Quinn at Paul_L_Quinn. Utterly brilliant, creepy and tense. 3rd episode's vision of a world with its revised history conquered by the monks is far, far better than the conquered Earth in Last of the Time Lords. I'm sure it all makes sense, but this is a high point in a strong season. Do you know what? The reviews were more positive than we have. Ads.
There you go. Get these people on the show. The last one we've got is from friend of the show, Jake. Jay the Thembo at Thembo_J25. I've not watched this trilogy in yonks. Also, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, which I think you just wanted me to read out.
Yeah, I think you said you didn't want any big words, didn't you?
Yeah.
In your tweet. So
yeah.
Jake opted to give you.
That's a big word that we can all understand because it's in Mary Poppins.
Exactly. Here we go though, because it's my favorite part.
At least you didn't include the word that's now being edited out of the modern versions.
Yeah, and also this is my favorite part of the show because it's randomizer time, and this week the War Games is available. Please, the War Games.
Something struck me earlier today. I really hope we get a McCoy because we've not had a McCoy yet.
Yes.
I clicked that.
Oh, there we go. He says it and it happens. Boom!
Delta and the Bannerman.
What's this one then?
It's
Delta and the Bannerman.
Doctor Who Goes Disneyland. That's the bit.
Oh, is this the singing? This is the musical one.
Coming at you from Wales, England.
That is a line. That is a line.
That is actually a line.
Oh, fuck off. It's actually.
I'm saying that.
Oh no, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. No, it's great. It's great. After watching these, this is like completely other end of the spectrum.
It's a total palate cleanser.
Other end of the spectrum. It's like low concept, absolute fun.
It's only 2 parts. No, it's not. It's 3 parts.
It's 4. It's
That's
3.
fine.
3.
It's 3.
3.
Oh, you've got off very lucky, by the way, Because in the last few, you've not had a full party yet, and there's a staples of Doctor Who.
No, we did. We had Terry the Auto, so that was good.
You've had one, but considering a full part as a
That's a really good one.
yeah, it's a good
I
one.
mean, to be fair, what we've done this week is the equivalent of a 6-parter.
We have.
Yeah.
And also, I was still like, I don't want to watch the War Games. I don't
Well,
want
you're going to have
to.
to at some point.
And do you know what this fucker asked? Is there a Tales of the TARDIS version? No. And also, I wouldn't let you review that anyway. I wouldn't. I'd be like, what's...
I mean, even if there was, it wouldn't be that much shorter.
Yeah.
You know, it'd
That
only
is-
be maybe about 20 minutes shorter.
That is true. But anything anybody want to shout out or talk about before we...
Yeah, did the monks watch loads of people knock one out in their simulations? They're like major pervs.
I mean, like...
Well, if one of them was to end the world, they'd have to.
I'm just saying, yeah.
It's
If I
interesting.
did it on a bus and said it was a simulation, I'd get nicked. Don't worry, lads. I'll tell you what. You give me 6 numbers and see if,
Especially if you were driving the bus.
Here's my question, though, lads. What would we be doing in the simulation? What do you think if there was one thing that like people would predict we would be doing with our day? That you can't say working. There's a boring fucking answer.
In the simulation, well, I'd be fighting. I'd be like Bill. I'd have the intelligence to fight against the fake news.
No, this is in the monks simulation, like the one that they ran in the extremis.
Right, I'm probably talking to you on this fucking podcast.
I was going to go and knocking one out. So,
Well,
not on the bus though.
I mean, in that case, that could be a very interesting podcast.
I'd try and I'd start my own cult.
What would it be about?
The cult?
Yeah.
knocking one out of the bus.
Yeah. Decanonizing Eaters of Light. Kaka.
So
That's going to be the name of the cult. The cult's going to be called Kaka.
Oh god, that's quite close. Be careful.
Oh shit. One letter off. I can't say that.
Jesus Christ. No, I mean, so what? In a Doctor Who simulation, you'd still be a Doctor Who fan and pissed that that hadn't happened yet.
Yeah.
You're like Twitter.
I'd become Twitter, yeah. I'd complain about absolutely everything about the show.
What would you be doing in a simulation about from knocking one out on the bus?
I think what it would be is the like AI, the simulation would become radicalized.
Yeah. Would you,
Yeah.
But also you'd be drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I'd go to a studio in London and ask them if I could just make Paddington 3.
It's already been made, isn't it?
No, I'd stop production and restart it.
Yeah, but I've read your script for Paddington 3 and it goes off the
It's
rails.
very interesting.
I mean, it's worth pointing. This is 2017, so Paddington 3 hadn't already been made.
Paddington 2 was coming out. I'd remake. Oh no, I wouldn't want to remake.
Oshan, if you randomly walked into a studio in 2017, I think we would ask where your mother was.
You would not remake Paddington 2 because it is perfect.
Exactly. Why would I remake Paddington 2?
Because Beef had become radicalized and forced you to remake it.
Paddington 2 contains the only cosplay that Alex Kingdom has ever said that he will do.
Yeah, in a scenario that's never going to happen.
If Hugh Grant ever did a convention, then we would go to meet Hugh Grant at a convention as dressed as prisoners from Paddington.
Oh yes,
now that you've mentioned it, I think I'd play a prisoner and Alex would play a boot trolley.
I mean, nobody ever beat Beef's Toast cosplay at LCC Spring a couple of years back.
I don't know. I think if we got enough of us for a group, Hugh Grant.
That'd be amazing.
Pink striped prisoner Paddington 2 cosplay.
Oh, I don't think you would ever do.
There will still never be like the coolest fucking moment I've ever experienced is when maybe if we're just strolling around the convention and is it Lee Gill? Is that his name from Joker and things? Just running, shouts across the Toast, and comes walking out. He's like, "No, you gotta get a photo, man. This is sick." Shout out to Lee Gill, by the way. He's in Joker 2. He's been announced, so good for him getting that bag.
Fuck's Lee Gill?
He works at the.
He goes,
he's one of-
yeah, Alex goes, shout out, you pick up this guy. Oshan just goes, who the fuck?
Sorry, that's awful. That's really bad. I didn't mean that.
It's a lovely
Sorry.
fella as well.
Sorry, no, Lee, if you're watching
Yeah, I
this,
mean,
I didn't mean
we saw
that.
significantly more questionable people that day. So
Absolutely. But yeah, guys, that's where we end this week. But anyway, speaking of being cancelled, you can follow John at John_Cook.
I've
Follow.
not been cancelled.
No, but you have cancelled. You have had to cancel people.
Not for like 16 months.
You can follow Oshan.
Yeah, I am probably fucking due one, to be honest. But yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while.
You can follow Oshan at the Oshan Man. He won't tweet, but he just said
My mate got wanked off on a bus.
Yeah, sure, your mate.
You just tweet that out. That'd be like
Your
my mate got
mate.
wanked off.
I'm your mate.
My mate.
Was it you?
Sure.
No.
Was it you? Are you sure?
Well, you know the
Yeah,
person.
your mate.
I do.
Your
You do know
mate
the
from another
person.
school, from another.
It's not
town
who
over.
I think it is.
You won't have heard from him. He's from another. He's from the next.
He's from another university.
It's the bus at the end of the world.
And you can follow Beef at the Beefheads, who Beef, I have to call you out. You didn't retweet this week.
He did tweet.
Did you tweet last week?
He tweeted. I saw something.
You didn't tweet this week.
No.
Apologies, yeah, apologies.
Tut.
Have you ever wanked on a bus? Do you watch Doctor Who? This could be the show for you.
Have you ever went to the bus? Do you watch Doctor Who? You could appear on the next series of the official Doctor Who podcast.
I mean, here's the thing, right? Is that I've realised the last 3 episodes.
That's actually, that's some representation that they have not yet had. We need representation of somebody that's wanked on a bus in official Doctor Who media.
Oh, true. That would actually be really.
Put your mate forward for it.
I will.
Extra point to their own Doctor Who t-shirt at the time.
I've just realised as well that the last 4 episodes of this podcast have just turned into smut because we had the fucking what's the Hartnell one called? Shit.
The Rescue.
The Rescue, which we were talking about, like a cosplay, and with that, and being really into cosplay.
And now your man was particularly bit creepy, bit dodgy.
We had them. We had fingering in Ledworth and doing like. We then had pimping the King's Demons and now wanking on buses and simulations. What will we come up with next? So we watch.
It's not me. It's the monks that pervs.
Join us next week for when we draw parallels between Delta and the Bannermen and Confessions from a Holiday Camp.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And on that note, we'll see you guys all next week. So take care. Bye-bye.
Kablam.
Good night, God bless. Don't have nightmares. Do sleep well. Don't wank on a bus.